All right, well, I came on to some Lucky Trail Magic at Key Gap, so I had a soda and some chips, and I refilled my water. Former thru hiker chicken nuggets or nuggets, and I forget the gentleman's name, but thank you guys so much. As former thru hikers, of course, they know how appreciated Trail Magic is, but it was great to see them. They came all the way from Texas. The one is actually riding the Gap, which is the Great Allegheny Passage in the C&O Canal, so it goes from Pittsburgh to Cumberland, Maryland on the Gap, picks up the canal and goes to DC. So he's riding his bike on that. So they had a day off here in Harper's Ferry, where the canal goes right through. So they did some trail magic. So again, thank you guys so much. And now I've just got 6 more miles into Harper's. Should be not too bad. As best I recall, it's pretty easy rest of the day. Probably take me 2.5, 3 hours. All right, looks like we are coming up on some power lines here. Oh yeah, there they are. And oh, let me go to the middle before I show. We got at least one view. We get out here a bit though. Maybe we'll go up to the HE signpost in the middle of this field. See if that's a good view spot. A little bit higher up. All right. So to the right, that's a real nice view. I'm gonna give that an 8. And to the left, well, there's not much view here, but if I find the right spot, it's about a 6. Maybe if I put it all the way up. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little view. Anyway, power line views. I'll get back if anything else cool happens, but I'm almost there. Well, just walking along, and here it is. The final time I crossed the state line. I am out of Virginia, and I wrote a little song. It goes like this. Goodbye, Virginia. I won't miss the old Dominion. I am really freaking sick of you, and that's just my opinion. Yes, it is. Virginia is not flat. That's bullsh. Oh, yes, it is. That's as far as I got, and as good as I can sing. Bye, Virginia. So as I move on into West Virginia, leave Virginia behind for good, I start the 3-state challenge. Now, a lot of people do the 4-state challenge, which is to hike from that line where I just was. There's a campsite right across from it, so you can get as close as possible. To hike from there through West Virginia and through Maryland and Pennsylvania. So you touch 4 states in one day. Well, I'm not doing that because I got a friend coming out and we're gonna hike Maryland together. But I am gonna do the 3-state challenge, where I hike from there through West Virginia and touch my foot in Maryland. And it'll be interesting for those of you who don't know where Maryland starts to see where it starts. But I'll show you when I get there. And the other fun fact, right after you cross the line, you officially enter Harper's Ferry National Historical Park, which is where I have done a ton of hiking, because they have some really nice trails, 2 beautiful overlooks. Maryland Heights, which is the more crowded of the 2 now that the bridge is back open, and the Loudon Heights, which is the longer and harder but less crowded of the 2. So I am very close to Harper's Ferry now. All right. All right, if you can hear me, I'm walking across the bridge over the Shenandoah River. Beautiful river. There's some rafters down there. I've rafted on this river too, a long time ago. And some people aquablaze, which means they canoe or raft down this river all the way from Waynesboro, maybe even before, I'm not sure. But man, beautiful day, beautiful river. I'm gonna take some photos. Back of the ATC, you can kind of start seeing the brickwork pattern, and when I get around front we'll see the famous sign everybody gets their picture taken in front of. Look, we got Skid, Browse, everybody. Hold on. And there it is.
It's never straight. Yeah, I mean it's never
There's
flat.
the ATC sign, and I'll get my picture here in a minute. All right, just left the ATC. Got there just in time because they closed at 5, but they put my picture in the book, and I gave them my real start date after joking around with the guy that I started May 12th, because they said they're not recognizing any miles hiked before May 11th. Of course, if I really started May 12th, I would have been doing 50 miles a day or something, but I told him the real start date. He said we go in the book anyway, so I'm now in the book at the ATC, and I'm just doing the last, I don't know, probably half a mile down to the bridge where my buddy's gonna pick me up, walking across this little campus, which is the side trail back to the AT, and I'm gonna close it out for the day. But I'll be back hiking. We'll be doing the Maryland section, like I've mentioned, probably 2 or 3 times over the next 3 days. And hopefully I'll do it justice, because a lot of people just kind of skip past Maryland and don't see the views or appreciate it. All right, unless something else happens, that's gonna be it. See you tomorrow. Said I was done for today, but that was a lie. Of course, I had to wrap up the 3-state challenge, which is right here. This is the Potomac River, where it meets the Shenandoah River, and by official treaty, Maryland owns the entire Potomac River, and I'm standing above it, so I've made it to Maryland. And I know that's true for the border of Maryland and Virginia. I have to assume it's true for West Virginia too, because probably when that treaty was written, West Virginia was part of Virginia. So there it is, 3-state challenge complete. Now I'm backtracking 1/10 of a mile to go meet my friend and have a steak dinner that has been promised to me for almost the entire time I've been on trail. I've been looking forward to it. And now I'm really wrapping it up for tonight, unless something crazy happens. All right.